fucking nerds? Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Lurch Frankie Wilkes, coming to you live from my living room. Happy Saturday. Today, I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about this show on Peacock called Hysteria, starring Bruce Campbell. A little rundown of the show, and I won't get too technical with it because I want everybody to see it. But a little rundown of the show is it starts off with a character named Faith. Faith and her boyfriend Ryan are getting down and dirty in their bedroom. It takes place in the mid-'80s or the late 80s. And during that time when they're like getting together and doing whatever teenagers do, the door gets kicked in and two assailants come in and they steal both these teenagers. And it kind of like Ryan's body is end up found later in like this weird satanic ritual sort of thing. Meanwhile, this band called Death Crunch, ran by three characters named Jordy, Spud, and Dylan, all have this band called Death Crunch, and they use this whole satanic panic thing to kind of like say that they started this cult for their band to get their band more popular, and people start believing it. Well, when they get blamed for the murder, people are like freaking out. It turns out that Tracy, and that's Faith's mother, when she was a teenager, she was a little bit rebellious, and she had this whole like going like she was like her parents wanted to get her help. And in the 60s, she was very rebellious. She had a lot of, partners. And she started experimenting with drugs and alcohol. And she does this acid trip in the 60s. And this acid trip, she sees Satan. And she's ended up kidnapped by this man who goes by the preacher? No, the reverend. And what he does is like a deprogramming where he takes these teenagers that have this whole sort of like weird outlook on life and like tries to reprogram their brain into making them think that what they're doing is wrong and they're like possessed by the devil and all this other stupid shit and bring them back to God. But Tracy had this done to her, so she becomes this devout Christian and she becomes completely psychotic. And the rumors start flying around that Faith is actually seeing a boy on the side. And so Tracy freaks out, calls the Reverend, and has her daughter reprogrammed. Well, it turns out that the people that kidnapped these kids accidentally killed Ryan because Ryan had asthma. He had asthma. And so they start freaking out because they weren't supposed to kill him. So they do this whole, as a satanic panic thing is going on, they make it look like Ryan's murder was a Satanist ritual. Turns out it wasn't a Satan ritual, and the kids they get full on blame for this. But Dylan's mom, Linda, she's actually possessed. Now, when the town doesn't know what's going on at first, all the townspeople, all the parents of all these kids are like being threatened by this unseen force, and they're getting these weird like bumps on their necks, and Linda actually ends up getting fully possessed. When Tracy tries to do an unsanctioned exorcism at the very end, because they all think that she's possessed, she ends up burning down the church. Jordy ends up saving her because Jordy, who's the bass player in Death Crunch, actually is best friends with Faith, but her mom tries to tell Faith that she's no good. They even actually tried to frame Jordy for the murder of Ryan by sticking his inhaler in the room. Now, I thought this show was a lot of fun. There was a lot of great character development and all of it. I love the whole band thing was really, really well thought of. And I love the ending. The only thing that I was really super confused about was the fact was she actually possessed, or was it just bullshit? Because that was where I really wasn't sure. Because when when Tracy's doing the exorcism at the end of the show, they're all in the church, and she's got, Linda strapped to this wheelchair, and her son Dylan is looking down at her. And when Jordy and Spud come in there, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't work. Exorcisms don't work unless the person's actually possessed. But was she actually possessed? Now, I don't know. I haven't ran into a lot of people that have seen the show, so I was really confused on that part. But other than that, I thought it was funny. I thought it was scary. It was like Dylan's whole love interest with the girl who wants to start this whole, he started the cult. Now she's like super in love with him. The nerdy kids becoming popular. The band is really good. The music in it is fantastic. It's got a lot of 80s nostalgia to it. And like the music in it is full on fucking amazing. So if you guys have never seen this, I strongly suggest you checking it out. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. I post every Saturday. And like always, like, comment, subscribe. Stay horror. Be excellent to each other, you fucking nerds, and we'll see you next time. Later days.